So I think there's going to be some pretty big showdowns over the course of the next few videos. I think there's a lot of kind of big and medium powers that are ultimately going to come into conflict. Now, right now, we pretty much don't have any kind of close conflicts. I think all these are pretty one-sided. I know that there looks like there's a lot of nations here, but this is an Eastern Asian war that is calling in a few Europeans. I mean, France still has their 2 colonies for some reason. They're pretty much insignificant at this point. But yeah, Polynesia decided to join in against Indonesia, and that was a pretty big mistake, I think. But they have cause for, well, first of all, China did not win their war. Which was crazy. At the end of that last video, we saw the Indians and the Indonesians together both combined to beat China and Siam. That is huge. That is a very, very big development, and we'll see if that continues to play out like that. Obviously, Polynesia has this awesome alliance for some reason with Spain and Assyria. I don't know if India and Indonesia can fight them off. This is going to be a little bit harder, although maybe it won't be. If Spain doesn't want to get involved, then that's fine. It might be harder for India, at least, but we will see. I mean, because, India is, first of all, they get distracted by Venetian Bengal, as well as this part of Spanish territory. So I don't know. Oh, Babylon's involved, too. Babylon is, I think, making a pretty big difference. I think Babylon is a pretty good ally for now. Obviously, they're not the most powerful or anything like that, but I think it helps India a little bit. Does India have any more alliances? Because, okay, I think they've pretty much solidified the fact that, they're allied to France now. That's pretty big. And I don't know why they're still allied to Byzantium. But it's, I think India and Indonesia combined have both kind of solidified the fact that they can do this. They can do this together. They can maybe somewhat stop China and Siam in the future. But what India now desperately needs is a Western power friend, ally. And I think they somewhat have that with France, although France is going to get its butt kicked. Actually, this is the first time we've seen France face Spain and Venice this late in the game. This is the first time we've seen it like in I believe in the entire 18th century. So we'll see how they do. It doesn't look very well at all. There was a moment where France was able to fight both Spain and Venice off for like a little bit of time, but they were not able to do it at all this time. Russia's coming to the aid of Greece. Because, Poland, Germany's still around? Are you serious? Wow, that's crazy. Oh, they're a vassal under Poland now. Oh, okay. Whoa, this is big. So Poland went after Greece, but Russia decided to accept that call to arms. This is another big one. Oh, I like this war. So maybe we do have some interesting ones going on. England might play a slight role in it. Assyria is going to be, Assyria is going to be a really big deal, which is actually going to keep India and Assyria from getting into a conflict, I believe, because of the Eastern War. We will see. I'm not guaranteeing that. I don't really know where most of the Assyrian regiments are at. They're somewhere. Here's a 12 stack. Luckily, for both these nations, Persia doesn't like either one. Persia does not like Assyria. Persia does not like India. So Persia will not be given military access to either one, which means that I don't know if there's ever going to be a conflict until someone goes after Persia. The problem is, there you go, Persia's allied to the Russians, the Celts, and Arabia. Arabia's not a big deal. Celts are not a big deal, but Russia is, especially with that massive military. Remember, we checked the ledger last time, and we saw how much of a military they had. They had a pretty, I think, distinct advantage, but I don't know if that's the same case anymore. I think Assyria's over here. England is definitely playing a role. 50 stack. Okay, so no matter how big the Russian military was, it's not the same anymore. That's for sure. Is Greece or is Poland trying to get back their own land? No, they're just trying to be aggressive. I get that. How's France doing? Yeah, France is not doing very well. Let's check in on our friend India. How is India doing? India's just focusing in on these occupations to the south. They're not even going after Polynesian China at all. How about Indonesia? Are they doing okay? I wonder if they're going to try to land on Polynesian territory. They've really kind of made it a complicated situation for all of them. I mean, India, Indonesia, and Polynesia could really use a very nice alliance. But maybe they don't. Maybe they don't need that. Ooh. India and Siam. That is an interesting one. I didn't realize that. So India's starting to kind of, I think, come into that role as like maybe a major player in the world. We didn't really talk about them in the last video when it came to like top nations. We talked about China, we talked about Assyria, Spain, and the Mayans, even the Inca, but I didn't drop India's name. I'm not exactly sure about why I did that. It really depends. Like when I said in the intro for this video, I really thought that India and Assyria, I think that war could decide a huge power here that I think is desperately needed in the middle to separate the Spanish and the Chinese. I'm sure that'll eventually will happen. I'm thinking, actually, I don't know. You know, we are running out of time. There are, what, 80 years left? A little bit more than 80 years left, not much more. There are things that might not happen. I'm actually shocked that all this stuff hasn't been colonized. But at the same time, there's really only a few nations that can colonize this region anymore, so maybe it's not that surprising. Everything else has been colonized, I believe, besides a few provinces in Africa. And yeah, the New World's done. It's been completely colonized as much as it can. No truce. America has no truce, or I'm guessing the Mayans had probably no truce against the French colonies. So that war, I think, might get started again right before an American-Mayan war. I don't think there's any way possible that we're going to get through this campaign before we see that North American continent break out. Byzantium versus Greece. Ooh. So Byzantium now going at it. They're going to try their best to take out Greece since their friend Russia is getting just combined, destroyed. Poland, Russia, and Assyria. I'm sorry, Poland, English Russia, and Assyria. That would have been a very funny mistake if I didn't correct myself, which I do that all the time. It's the crack, I get you. But Poland is pushing through, and I don't even know if they're going to take anything away from Greece, or they might separate piece Russia and then focus on taking this stuff to the south. Did something else pop up? Songhai versus Morocco. Yeah, that's new. Oh yeah, we talked about that. Songhai desperately needs this. They desperately need more power. Because now they do share a border with Assyria, technically, right? This is wasteland, but it's technically a border. And Assyria is colonizing very quickly Eastern Africa. Ethiopia now has friends, England and Portugal. That's not going to be enough to stop Assyria, I don't believe. But we'll see. And India is kind of going towards the north, more towards Sweden, actually, which is smart for the most part. Pretty smart that they're not going this way. Maybe there won't be as much border gore as I was thinking. I mean, there's border gore, don't get me wrong. There's lots and lots of border gore, especially in Scandinavia and in the Baltic states, the Balkans, I mean. Africa seems to be okay, and actually, the New World's almost the best. Almost the best. Latin America's perfect, I think. No border gore at all. It's all very clean for the most part. The French colonies kind of ruined that whole thing for us, though, in the north. French Louisiana. Yeah, the Celts had popped out. Oh, I don't know if they popped out or if they just colonized this region. The Celts only allied to Persia at the moment. And I wouldn't be surprised if England goes after the Celts once again. I think that might happen. Dang, Russia. Wow. You are in a really, really tough spot now. So strange, because a video ago, they were surprisingly very powerful. I mean, I was just shocked to see them so high in the list. Maybe if Poland does a lot of damage, then maybe they could be this big threat. Remember, Poland and France are allied. Okay, so either Spain or France was separate pieced. I think, yeah, France was separate pieced, I believe. Egypt's now gotten involved in the war against Polynesia. Reconquest of Manila. Oh, they want Manila this time. They don't want this province, which is what I think China wanted. Oh, they're going to win this one. Yeah, Indonesia, there's nothing you can do about that. You're not going to win the Philippines, because I believe the Chinese had already, for the most part, wiped out the Indonesian Navy, which is a big reason why I think the Indian-Indonesian combination is so effective. India has the army, Indonesia has the navy. But because China got involved in the war first, they probably knocked out a huge, stack of their ships. Okay, so something just happened. Yeah, Polynesia won this war. I believe they grabbed Manila. Yeah, there it is. But still, I mean, is it that bad? No. It's not really that bad. What is this? Polynesian peasants have risen up. India did not grab anything, but they still have an opportunity to colonize. That's the thing, is India is one of those rare nations that can still colonize. So can England, though. So can China, though. If China was stuck to not being able to colonize anymore, that would be kind of more interesting, but they're going to stay ahead in power for at least a little bit longer. Ooh. Now we have Russian peasants. Oh, Russia, this is not good. Bam, Byzantium has separate peace from Greece and grabbed a bunch of territory back. Poland's still involved in the war. Luckily for India, they didn't have to worry about Assyria. They're very, very lucky. Actually, now that I think about it, they didn't have to worry about Assyria. Let's not forget that Assyria controls the southernmost tip of the Indian Peninsula. Is this technically the Indian Peninsula? I guess we could call it that, right? China versus England. There we go. I don't know if it's going to go well. Austrian War for Independence. Oh my gosh, Austria just called in Russia. I don't know if they're going to be... Well, they've got 12 war scores, so maybe that will work. The Zulu and Siam versus Portugal. Don't really care about that. Poland's still at war with Greece and Russia. This is pretty big, though. China versus England. I don't think it's going to be... I don't think it's going to go in anyone's favor, but China's. But still, hey, they got Polynesia involved. Actually, no. We don't even know. England, we have to look at this. England has Alaska, Portugal, Ethiopia, Polynesia. That is that America? Yeah. Poland, Germany, and Assyria. Still not going to be enough. You are going to get your butt kicked, and it's going to look like they lose a lot because these provinces are pretty big. I'm sure China's going to take a lot. Well, I mean, what was the casus belli? It's going to look more than they actually take, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's imperialist war, so yeah, they'll probably take a lot. We'll see. India, England, you better peace out. You better get done with this Russian war. I don't know if they realize the threat that they're facing. England versus China. I don't know if they're ready for this. It probably wasn't for the best that, England was the main one to colonize Russia. It would have been interesting to see if Russia was the main one to colonize Russia. I think they were one of the only ones to be able to maybe do it. Ooh, Sweden now going into the Russian territory, calling in Spain and Venice. Russia called in France. This is big. We've seen kind of the fall of nations before, but they've always been weak up until this point. Having Catherine fall like this is a really big deal. Because again, I think there were a lot of people that argued that Russia should be considered maybe a top-tier, top-5 power. Obviously, not anymore. So we're going to see exactly what happens. Russia has gotten themselves involved into... Did a peace deal just happen, or... No. Oh, yes, it did. Russia had to do a nulled alliance with England and with Assyria. And they just lost a very big chunk of their land to Poland. Wow, that is a lot. Poland did not hold anything back. They took a lot away. And I guess it's because Byzantium had already kind of cut off. Well, they took a little bit from Greece. They took like one province from Greece, I think, right? Yeah, one province from Greece. I think it's why, though, because Byzantium had cut in, taken most of the Greek lands, so Poland's like, well, I got to use this war score. So they took it for Russia. They took it from Russia. Let's see if they can hold back Denmark and Sweden. Denmark is already over here. Russia looks like they have about, I don't know. Oh, look at that. Assyria, since they were already in Russian territory, oh my gosh, we're going to see some Assyrian-Chinese conflicts. That's really cool. I never really thought we'd ever see these battles could take place. Obviously, I still think China has the advantage, but we'll see. The Assyrian army already being here is a really big deal. It's kind of actually needed because what was England going to do? Is that 100 stack? Oh my gosh. England, Germany, and Poland together. So I think it actually helped that they were just done fighting Russia. Holy crap. Oh my gosh. Now the question is, are they going to make it an offensive move? Are they going to turn this defensive war into an offensive war? Or do they go back home? Poland might want to go back home. Assyria might want to go back home, but it doesn't look like it. China, do you have reinforcements coming? Yes, you do. But that's not going to be enough. Unless you consolidate all these regiments, that will not be enough, I don't think. They have got to be losing war score. They are, -11. This is going to be the second war that we've seen China lose. I wonder what that's saying there. Austria's about to get their independence, I think. Yeah, Austria's gonna get their independence. That's all I know. I believe. Russia's rebuilt kind of fast, but they don't have enough to fight off Denmark. I wonder how successful Sweden is. Sweden needs to use that Denmark is also fighting them. I think Austria is only going to get their... Who is this? Oh, why is Venice? Uh-oh. Oh, because of this. Because the Austrians are technically, as of now, independent. Since they declared their independence, they have to come to the aid of Russia because Sweden got involved. That's why they're fighting Venice and... Oh, Venice and Spain. Oh, that's not good, man. That is not good. Anyways, I think I'm more preoccupied with English Russia. I cannot believe what's developing here. There they are on the front lines. And China has lost multiple battles. They are running back home. Oh, Polynesia is also involved. I forgot about that part. Is it because most of their troops are here? Maybe China is starting to be too big for their own good. Maybe for the amount of land they have to protect, they don't have enough military units. I know they have a lot, but I don't know if they have enough to be able to protect all of these borders. What's the fort system looking like here? Okay, they have got a few forts, so it would take a while to get deep into Chinese territory. I didn't even see... And the English, of course, have been very irresponsible without building a fort, especially along the Chinese border. You would think that there'd be lots of forts here. That's why China was just able to move deep into English territory. So Polynesia is going to be forced to separate peace, which means that they better be ready. And England better hope that Assyria and Poland don't back away. I don't think Assyria is, but Poland might. Especially if Poland has to start to deal with the rebels that they just caused. The rebels that they might cause because of all the overextension that they might be facing. I mean, I don't know. They could be facing overextension. It's possible that they won't. It's not. I mean, it's possible that they can handle their overextension is what I mean. India after the Huns. Smart move there for India. Good move. You can easily probably take these provinces. I don't think you can get open borders through Sweden. I don't think you guys like each other. Oh, you guys somewhat do. No. India's opinion of Sweden is bad. But India needs this. So maybe they could try it. Maybe they could try it. Don't exactly know yet. Okay, so what's happening here? What is... Assyria and Ethiopia are now friends. That's kind of surprising. And they're working against kind of the Zulu. But that's because of everything that's happened, yeah, in Eastern Asia. This is definitely a global war, that is for sure. This is the first war we've seen where European powers are facing off against China, which is something that we've been talking about for the entire campaign. We knew this moment was going to happen. I just didn't think it was going to go down like this. I will say that. Definitely did not anticipate that it would look at all like this, so that is kind of shocking. Anyways, guys, I'll have to stop right there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.